Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how I edit the raw hyperlapse photos shot on the DJI Mini 3 Pro. The first thing you want to do when shooting your hyperlapse is make sure you're shooting them in 4K raw. Drone does is create its own hyperlapse in 4K but also save the original 4K raw photos that you shot with it in order for you to edit and create a hyperlapse. Yes, the drone usually creates a really good looking hyperlapse, but you can do much more with the photos because you have more resolution and you can edit them in Lightroom to give it that look that you want and then export it into your video editing software and crop in to give it the type of shot you want it to look like in post. So generally speaking, you have a lot more creative ways of making your hyperlapse stand out. I've opened the Adobe's Lightroom, the mobile version, and I have the raw hyperlapse photos over here. So I'm just gonna select them all and import them. So just say add items and it should import. Okay, so I'm gonna move down to the first photo here and I'm just gonna do some edits. So I will probably start with bringing up the shadows a little bit, bring the highlights down to reveal more details in the sky. I think about 50 is good. I will bring down the whites and bring up the blacks slightly. I want to give it a little more warmth. Now I'm trying to keep this as natural as possible and not do like really heavy edits. Down the clarity, and I think that's about it. Probably give it a little contrast or maybe more. I think around there seems good. Maybe a little exposure, not too much, and that should be it. So quick before after. Now what I'm gonna do is copy the settings from this photo and go down all the way to the last one and select all and then choose paste settings. And then it's going to say, do you want this to continue? I'm going to say okay, and that's it. Now it's going to paste all these settings to all the photos. Now once all the settings have been pasted across all the photos, you want to export these photos. So you right click and export photos. Now you just go to export and choose these options the way it is over here. Make sure it's in JPEG and full size because we want the entire resolution, quality 100%. And if you want to change this to your preference, you can do it as well. I choose screen and high sharpening. That's what I choose, but if you want low sharpening, medium, you can definitely do that as well. And then just hit export. Now I'm editing on Final Cut Pro, which is what I use to edit my videos. You could do this in Adobe's Premiere Pro for More 9 as well, but I'm going to show you how I do it using Final Cut Pro. Now when you open the project, you want to ensure that you have these particular settings. So choose custom resolution and then enter 4032 by 3024, which is the entire resolution of the photo shot on the Mini 3 Pro. Right now I have it set at 5272 by 3948 because that's what because I shoot with the Mavic 3 Pro and that's the entire photo resolution of the Mavic 3 Pro. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But if you're shooting at the Mini 3 Pro, make sure to enter 4032 by 3024. Now that this is open, I'm gonna select all the edited JPEGs and bring them into Final Cut Pro. Now once all these photos are in Final Cut Pro, I'm gonna select them all and right click and choose new compound clip. So instead of them being individual photos, now they're one video clip. And what I'm going to do is hit Command R, which brings up the speed inspector. And I'm just going to drag this down to increase the speed. So this was initially a 16-second hyperlapse. So I'm going to keep dragging it and bring it to 16 seconds. So make sure when you're shooting your hyperlapse, you want to bring the speed down, the duration down to what you originally shot it at. Since this was 16 seconds, I'm going to bring this to 16 seconds. And if you see, this is pretty shaky and it's going to need some work and stabilization. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is just export this and make sure that you just go into settings and choose video only and export this into the same exact resolution. Now I'm gonna play this and it's gonna look all shaky because it's not stabilized. So what I'm gonna do is bring that file that we just exported, scroll down here and hit stabilization and just wait for it to stabilize. Okay, so this is the stabilized version. Now it's not gonna be that great, but it's pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this stabilized file back again into Final Cut Pro and stabilize it again and repeat it as many times as it takes in order to get the best amount of stabilization. And because we're using the entire resolution, so we're not really losing any resolution here. Now I brought the stabilized version into my Reels project, so I'm going to edit this for a reel. Now you can fit this the way you want. You can zoom in because you have a lot of resolution to play with. So I have my settings at 1080 for 1920 and 30 frames, which is optimized for Instagram. So I'm just gonna hit fill here, and then I'm probably gonna scale this a little more to the right because I want more of the right to show. So I'm not gonna lose quality here, especially because we've been editing in the highest resolution possible. So now I want to edit this clip. Let's say I want to add a LUT, for example. I'll just bring in a LUT and choose the LUT that I want. Probably go for Burning Glow. And I'll make some tweaks here and there. For example, with the color adjustments, I'll come here, I'll just bring up the contrast slightly, or the exposure a little bit, you know, just play around with the settings, do what you want. I'm just doing this to show you how I edit them. So now that I'm done with this, I'm just gonna export this for Reels, and that's it. Now if you want more stabilization, I strongly suggest getting Adobe's After Effects and using the warp stabilizer. That is one of the best stabilizers that I've come across, and it'll do a really good job. Now there's different ways of going about to create your hyperlapse. You're most welcome to try them out. This is the way that I use to edit mine, and it works pretty well, and I'm happy with the results. So you can definitely try this. If you have any more questions, make sure to drop them in the comments below, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button because it helps out this video and this channel, and subscribe so you don't miss future videos. I'll see you in the next one.